Hello, guys. Today we are going to discuss a highly contemporary and a very relevant sociology previous year question. And the question is important because sociology itself is changing. So, if you see earlier sociologists, they mainly studied what villages, factories, tribes, face to face communities, right? But now, if you look at it, there is a topic in sociology itself that's the scope of sociology. So, the scope of sociology is widening and the very nature of sociology itself is changing, right? And it's actually shifting to digital platforms, social media, virtual communities, online identities, visual communication. So today people live simultaneously in a physical society that we have. At the same time, we have a digital society also. So there is a physical world which we need to study, or a physical society which you need to study as a sociologist, and there is a digital society also where we find our identity, we find our community, etc. So that also need to be studied. And that is why I told you, since society have completely changed, it's not only that physical one which you have seen earlier. So sociology also changed, and the scope of sociology also changed, and the sociological method also will change. The methods that you use to study a physical society and the community will be different to when you're studying a digital society and a community and actions there. And that's why there are concepts like digital ethnography, online communities, visual culture, social media sociology. All these are becoming extremely important. And if you look at the question that I'm going to discuss, which has been asked in 2024, let me show you the question now and then we will discuss. So the topic is digital ethnography and visual culture in sociology. As I told you, these are getting a lot of importance now in sociology because the subject matter is changing. In fact, the scope of subject is widening and the nature of sociology is changing, right? We live in not only physical world, we also live in a digital world, and that's why you are watching this session, right? You are one way or the other even connected with me also, not only your teacher in your physical classroom. So this is a digital teacher. So how do you view and assess the increasing trend of digital ethnography and use of visual culture in sociological research? It's a 20 marker. It's a very important question, and recently this has been asked. So this is what we need to discuss. So now let's start directly. How can you begin this? You can first define what is ethnography, and then you can discuss digital ethnography, right? So ethnography is a qualitative research method which is used in sociology and anthropology to study social groups and cultures through long-term observation, participation, and immersion in everyday life. So that way you can define ethnography, and you can uh, add any thinker like Atkinson or Hammersley, how they define ethnography. So they define ethnography, I have given in the notes also, the study of people in naturally occurring settings through methods which capture their social meanings and ordinary activities. So that's an excellent definition which you can start off with. Now, directly connect to the contemporary context or what they have asked in question. So the rise of digital ethnography and visual culture reflect a major transformation in sociological research methods due to the expansion of digital world. Or now we are not only living in the physical world, as digital society is also there. Digital communication is expanding. Social media, we are finding another identity in social media. You will find social media alienation. You will see social media friends and groups and circles, right? And visually mediated social life. So that's going to be a very strong introduction as you're directly jumping onto the question. Now tell what is digital ethnography. So we have already discussed what is ethnography. Now, what does digital ethnography means? It's a studying social life in online or digitally mediated spaces. So instead of only studying the villages or workplaces or neighborhoods, sociologists now study Instagram communities, Reddit discussions, WhatsApp groups, right? Gaming cultures, online fandoms, and virtual religious communities, such kind of ceremonies, such kind of functions, such kind of celebrations, YouTube cultures. So this is an excellent contemporary linkage to the question which is asked. Now, guys, you prepare whatever I'm telling here, you just take down the note. Otherwise, I won't tell normally because these are things which might not have covered in your classes. So this you have to take down the notes. And once if you get any question related to this, the same thing you reproduce and it's done. right? Because beyond this, you cannot also do anything. If you're getting a question on digital society, digital culture, and all, this is the same thing that you need to replicate. Now, why digital ethnography become important? Explain the increasing trend now, right? Society has become a network society. We can talk about Manuel Castells. I've given in the notes also. So what Castells argue? Castells argued modern society functions increasingly through networks and digital flows. So social interaction today basically happens through various platforms like Instagram and etc., WhatsApps, right? Various applications and digital communication. And therefore, ethnographers must also have to move into these spaces and study these spaces. For example, if you look at online communities or the K-pop fandoms, that become new field sites for sociological research. That example you can give, that will be an excellent example. Right, now you talk about Anthony Giddens, transformation of social interaction. Giddens argued that modernity stretches social relations across time and space. Digital media is allowing interaction without any physical proximity. For example, diaspora communities still maintain, now it is very easy to maintain the identity and relationship. We have the WhatsApp groups, we have the Facebook groups, we have the Telegrams and the Zoom calls and all those. Whatever you want to, you can write there. So you are maintaining that interaction, you are maintaining that identity, you are keeping that community, you are keeping that friends, and you are celebrating online also. So sociologists now can study the transnational identities digitally. So this is an excellent theoretical linkage if you can bring in. And these are very easy also, right? What we see is what we are writing, just that you need to bring in sociological perspective. Now, next is very important, access to marginalized voices. See, digital ethnography increasingly allowing you access to voices which are often absent in the traditional fieldwork. For example, LGBTQ plus forums, right? And the mental health communities, anonymous feminist spaces, digital, this Dalit digital activism. And if you look at it, these platforms are providing the raw narratives, lived experiences, and emotional expressions of this marginalized people, marginalized section. So traditional sociology may not easily access such intimate experiences, that close experiences. But here you will get that. You'll get that lived experience. You'll get the raw narratives of the reality, the real emotional expressions also, right? It's an excellent sociological relevance. This is a very important point also. Next is real-time observation. See, traditional ethnography require long physical immersion, go there, be part of them. But when it comes to digital ethnography, it's a real-time interaction, live observation, and rapid documentation. For example, you see researchers who are studying online protest movements, they can observe the hashtags, they can understand the trends, memes, live discussions, which is going on, digital mobilization instantly, right? So it's a very contemporary point also. Now, this pandemic accelerated digital sociology. What happened after COVID-19? There is, we can, even in sociology also, we have post-COVID and pre-COVID, right? So education have completely transformed. See, otherwise earlier you were not attending classes like this. You only stick to your classrooms and teachers, but the trend have changed. Education, work, religion, politics, relationships, all these are getting into that digital experience, and that digital experience is getting accelerated also, right? That's a current relevance we can add. And then visual culture in sociology, that is there in the question. So that's the second part of the question. Now address that also. So today's society is not only text based, it is increasingly visual based or image based. People communicate through photos. You send photos, you send reels, couples, those who are in love, those friends see something which they want to communicate to the other person. Rather than telling, you just send a reel. Right? Even if I want to tell you something, instead of telling you directly, I can show you or I can tell you through a reel. I don't feel like telling you directly that I want this, right? So I can send a reel or memes or emojis or videos, visual branding. Right. So that is why sociology now focusing again on visual culture. Now, what is visual culture? Visual culture basically refers to the study of images, study of media, study of the use of symbols, and the visual representation that is shaping social meanings and identities. You can mention the definition also. I repeat, the study of how images, media, symbols, visual representation, etc., shape the social meaning and identities. Now they're asking about the increasing trend. Okay, you need to talk about the importance of visual culture in sociology also. So, visual sociology studies how meanings are, communicated through images, right? Through images, through videos, etc. You can give an example: Instagram lifestyle culture, right? So that is basically you can talk about this beauty related reels, success related reels, masculinity, femininity, luxury. All these you can mention, right? Culture as a system of science, then representation and identity. Visual media shape race, gender, caste, nationalism, religion. Look at this example like cinema and advertisement. They influence the gender stereotypes also, right? So visual culture, again, excellent sociological point. And photo voice method. It can be asked as a separate question also. Basically, photo voice allows participants themselves to document their realities through photographs. It's an important modern method. I repeat, photo voice method. This basically allow the participant themselves to document their realities through photographs. So, for example, women in slums, they're documenting their sanitation issues, domestic labor, unsafe environments, and that basically democratizes the sociological research. It's a very good enrichment point. Now, hyperreality we discussed in case of Jean Baudrillard, right? Baudrillard argued modern media creates hyperreality. People increasingly interact with the representations rather than reality itself. This hyperreality earlier also in 2013 when I used to write the exam also, this is very important point that we used to add at that point of time when social media just came. Now it's a different level, right? Social media influencers, they create idealized lifestyle that shape aspirations and consumption pattern. So that way you are getting exploited also. It's a overhyped reality. Social media influencers, they are not living the way they are shown as they are living, and giving you such kind of aspirations, consumption patterns, etc. The rich lifestyle and all those, right? Memes as sociological data. Today, memes themselves are sociological text. You can get a lot of data from that. That basically reflecting the ideology, political polarization, nationalism, class anxieties, gender stereotypes, right? And then you can also talk about the positives and negatives of. We have already discussed the positives, right? Or first you discuss positives and then discuss the negatives also. The merits of digital ethnography and also visual culture in the present context. So you are getting rich qualitative data. You are getting the narratives, you are getting the emotions, you are getting the interactions, you are getting the symbolic meanings, and that is producing that very thick description, right? And then wider access. It is not only a small physical community. Researchers can study geographically dispersed communities. You can study any communities, global climate activism networks, for example. And this is democratizing the sociological research. As I told you, marginalized communities can express themselves directly. Dalit Twitter activism or feminist Instagram campaigns and their pages, etc. And it's very dynamic and real-time analysis live, unlike the static surveys. So digital sociology captures rapidly changing social realities depending upon what is happening now. And multi-modal understanding. It is combining the text, it is combining the visuals, audios, photos, interaction patterns, images, and that gives deeper sociological understanding, not only text. That's an excellent sociological sophistication if you add. Now write the criticisms so that you'll balance the answer. There are ethical problems. That's a major challenge. There are questions which arise regarding privacy, consent, anonymity. For example, these Reddit discussions. Can Reddit discussions be ethically used for research without explicit permission? That's a excellent ethical dimension. And researchers' intrusion. Digital observation may become surveillance, like, this can raise concern about digital exploitation, hidden observation, etc. And of course, there will be authenticity problem, like online identities are, curated or, performative. right? So people normally present idealized version of themselves. What I try to tell in my Instagram page is the best version of me, not the real version of me. And I try to inspire people by showing the best version of me, where I myself might not have inspired with what I am doing, right? So that authenticity problem is there. And it's very difficult to verify the authenticity. That's another issue which you can mention. So that is there. And then the digital divide. Not everyone has equal access to digital access. So therefore, digital ethnography may exclude the rural population, elderly people. They don't have access to, this digital world, and poor communities. So that's an excellent critical dimension which you can bring. And information overload, which one I will take, right? Massive digital data is available that lead to methodological complexity also, and interpretation difficulty also, and the researchers may struggle to separate what is a meaningful pattern, what are the noises, which one I should select, and all those. That again will be a, see, this is for the sake of criticizing, we are adding so much of criticism. That's it. Okay, now superficiality risk is also there. There are many critics who argue online interaction may lack the depth of face-to-face ethnography. There is a superficiality, that friendship is not good, that companionship is not that good as the physical one, right? So traditional ethnography, if you see, that captures bodily practices, emotions, everyday life, lived environment. Digital ethnography sometimes miss all these layers. Next is reflexivity and the methodological change. You can add this as an advanced enrichment when we talk about digital ethnography that forces sociologists to rethink the field work, participation, observation, researcher identity. And the researcher is no longer physically present alone. They may become a follower, they may become a moderator, they may become a participant of that group, or a simple digital observer. That means sociology itself becoming more reflexive. You don't want to be like a part of it directly, like the way you are doing participation or observation or field work, right? You can add a lot of contemporary example, studying online radicalization. Quickly mention all these. Influencer culture, very important. Cancel culture, digital nationalism, online caste networks, virtual, morning road communities. And this will actually show how digital space themselves become sociological realities. WhatsApp groups, Instagram pages. So we have done the question. I hope you got enough idea about these two topics, digital ethnography and visual culture in sociology. You now conclude. Digital ethnography and visual culture have significantly expanded the horizons of sociological research by enabling the study of digitally mediated identities, interactions, and symbolic worlds. But these methods also raise important concerns, what we discussed, right? That ethics related issue, authenticity related issue, privacy related issue, and the superficial engagement also. And then bring a balanced line. Therefore, contemporary sociology increasingly combines traditional ethnographic depth with digital and visual methodologies to understand the evolving realities of networked society. That is giving you an excellent matured conclusion. This is what I mean by sociological maturity, right? Both sides you are bringing in. You are not ignoring the traditional ethnography. You are combining both. Now see, understand here what I've done. The deeper sociological shift is happening. So what earlier sociology discussed or studied? Society in physical spaces. Now today what sociology is studying? Society across screens or symbols or networks or algorithms and visual narratives. That is why digital ethnography is not simply a new method. It basically represents the transformation of sociology itself in the present digital age. So now sociologists study these. Earlier sociologists study the villages, communities. You go to the villages. Now which sociologists go to villages? Tell me one sociologist who's going to villages and doing village studies. They study the Instagram culture. They study this community's culture. Right? So that's about this video. Now we'll see in another previous year question. If you would like to join our courses, classes, or test series or the mentorship program, get in touch with us. See you there.